1988, the First Assembly of God Church group of Radcliffe, Kentucky, was involved in an accident with a drunk truck driver in a head-on collision in Carlton, Kentucky. The 67 teenage and adult passengers were on their way home after a long day from Kings Island, the amusement park. Their bus ended up in a side ditch, flaming and smoking, resulting in the deaths of 27 and injuring all of the rest of the survivors. The injuries were primarily due to smoke inhalation and burns. It was reported by the survivors that the reason so many perished was that they were all piled up in front of the bus and could not make it to the rear exits once the fire had spread. It is considered one of the worst fatal bus accidents in the history of the United States. Hopefully I have your attention now. Let's talk about school bus safety, particularly the seatbelt debate. Before we address the seatbelt debate, it is important to understand where school bus safety is presently. School buses are by far the safest way for children to travel to school. With their high structural integrity and crash force distribution, they have been deemed 7 times safer than any passenger vehicles, according to the NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. As stated in a USA Today article, a study done from 2004 to 2013 tells us that school bus accidents are accounted for 0.4% of fatal vehicle collisions during that time. Of that 0.4%, 8% of the people involved were actually on the bus. An average comes out to about 6 deaths per year. So where is the problem? All these things considered, many people for the past 40 years have deemed seatbelts unnecessary, including the NHTSA. As of November 2015, though, they changed their stance. They now recommend and encourage the implementation of seatbelts into school buses, striving for no fatalities. So the problem arises when we look at the fact that we could do better, and yet choose not to. Their goal of having a 3-point belt for every child makes sense. Seatbelts save lives, and no one should be forced to go through what the friends and families of the Radcliffe Church group experience. So let's talk about the seatbelt solution. Advantages include reduced severity in virtually all collisions. It results in better behaved students who are in their seats at the time of the potential accident, and it allows the drivers to focus on the road rather than babysitting the students. It is important to note that better fitting seatbelts and aid or monitor and proper student instruction improve the effectiveness. Another advantage is that it would keep young students in their seats and not up and moving. My mother is an elementary school teacher back home in Louisville, and last year a young sibling of one of her students got up out of his seat while the bus was moving, and the driver had no idea. The young boy made it all the way to the back of the bus and started playing with the emergency exit, and accidentally pushed the handle and the door flung open. The boy lost his balance and fell out of the back of the moving bus and was struck and killed by oncoming traffic. And this tragedy could have been prevented if there was a seatbelt that could have been made that could have made the boy stay in his seat. According to CityLab.com, the NHTSA estimates that nationally seatbelts can save about 2 students' lives each year. The concerns and arguments against the seatbelts are related to the cost. It would cost anywhere between $7,000 and $11,000 to outfit a new bus, and it would cost around $30,000 to remodel older buses. Other concerns involve enforcement of proper seatbelt usage, using buckles as weapons against other students, and the possibility that they could be restrictive in an emergency situation. The reason that I believe seatbelts should be considered over other alternatives, such as increased training for drivers, is that you cannot completely eliminate human error from the equation. There will always be accidents, so it is best to maximize the safety of all mechanical factors that we can control, namely by adding seatbelts. And now let me ask you a question. By a show of hands, how many of you have or plan on having a family? Most of you. And would you ever consider putting a dollar value on the lives of your children? Of course not. Yet each accident that takes the lives of children tells me that the government can, and that the lives of those children weren't even worth a few $1,000s. Returning back to the Carrollton incident, imagine a scenario where they had been trapped down by their seatbelts, and in a disoriented pile next to a ruptured burning fuel tank. They might have been unstrapped and found their way to the nearest exit before the fire had spread, and perhaps little to no lives would have been lost, because reports indicated that everyone survived the initial impact. If we want to maximize safety and make change, we have to take action. Currently, only 6 states mandate seatbelts on buses. With the ultimate goal of mandating seatbelts for all states, action would involve voicing your opinion, and your concerns to the current system. To do this, we can email, send letters, petition, rally, attend public forums, just to demand change from lawmakers and officials. It is important to get others on board as well, whether it be social media, talking to friends and family, etc., because only together we can strive for a future of improved school bus safety. Thank you.